let's talk about that. We're gonna start talking about that.
No, you can't say that. That's a good mythical morning thing.
Let's talk about that? Is that what they...
Yeah,
they don't have a monopoly on saying let's talk about that.
That's what they say, though.
Well, I don't watch them, so I didn't know that, and I don't know that.
Did you hear that, audience?
And I don't watch Good Mythical Morning.
Oh my freaking god.
No, don't deflect. We were talking about how you got drunk off like 3 lagers last night, Steven. Don't deflect. Yeah, we got a witness. We got a witness.
Tired off of it.
Fair enough.
And then you...
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I put my dick in his ear real quick.
That's not what happened.
That's not what. Hey guys, hey, look, hey, no dicks with no ears last night, eh? He's right though. That didn't happen.
Come on, man. It's just kid stuff.
It's just kid stuff. It's just kid stuff. Abducted in plain sight. Yeah, we might have to finish talking about that. But
anybody who knows that reference, please give us a like.
Yeah. Well, we gotta tell them what they're like. Welcome to.
Oh, sorry.
Lil Podcast, episode number 3. I have ReapGrimmer and Midnight Sol in studio. Do you want me to say your real name, Nick? Oh, well, we got Nick. Ew, nigga, you fucking... God damn, dude. Fucking Christ, boy.
Do you want me to say
I need some disinfectant. I want some disinfectant. This nigga just...
Dude, it's hard to disinfect. It's like...
You're right. It's all. Yeah, you're right. It's like rum, pretty much.
It's rum. That is
true. You sprayed rum on me a little bit.
So it's good.
Jesus Christ, shield in here. But yeah, all right. Well, I got the homie Nick. He goes by Midnight Sol on Instagram, and pretty much in everything else. He's find him.
No,
not really.
I go by Thickless on it.
He goes by Thickless as well on Snap. Shout out Tina. But yeah, we'll have all their contact information in the description. Nick is a well, I don't want to like mischaracterize you. Are you like
I'm a man.
Because in your description on the last episode, I like that. I'm a man first. American. On your description on the last episode, on number 2, I put you're a pagan Instagram influencer.
Oh my god.
I mean,
because I was just trying to think of what you do on Instagram, what you're known for on social media, and your like personal style, and your religion. And again, when we get to the ethnic maps, I want to talk to you about that.
That's like saying I'm a Christian snowboarder. Like nobody cares about the Christian part; they just care about the snowboarding.
You're right. No one cares about God, guys.
I have to disagree. Being pagan is not nearly as common as being Christian. So if it's anything that makes you stand out, I think it's important to say that.
Right, and only because if someone came on like the show and they were like someone who's a Christian, but like most of what they're known for doing, what they post is like revolved around, or some of it is revolved around like the church. No, I wouldn't feel weird like saying, well, here, this guy's a Christian musician or Christian what have you. They care. Yeah. But again, if it's just something, again, I wouldn't be like, well, I'm a Baptist podcast host. Like I'm very proud of my religion, but like I might post 1 or 2 things about that, but it's not mainly like what I post about and stuff. But again, I want to talk to you about that when we get to the ethnic maps part. But first, we're probably going to bullshit for a little while because it seems like people enjoy that. My buddy said, he was like, yeah, I like the first 20 seconds of your podcast. And I was like, thanks for that backhanded compliment, bro. Nice. Like, he liked the first part when me and Steven were talking shit to each other. And like the implication is like, well, you petered out after that. We got to start talking about all that friendship and loving your fellow man. Yeah, it's bullshit. But that first part, y'all niggas were talking shit.
The roast game.
I loved it.
It's going to play into the part that I was going to bring up.
Yeah, like these phones and shit that people are addicted to. Let's roll. I want to roll right into that if you're okay with that.
Well, fine. But yeah, I think a lot of general hate just comes from the internet in general, just because there's a lot of things that people will look at and depict them as being weird or wrong or something. But in all reality, like if you look back in history, there's been plenty more fucked up shit happening. Trust me.
Well, like contextualize that, like for like the people listening, because I kind of get a feeling of what you're talking about because I know you. Okay. But like, give like an example of like something that people post.
I don't want to bash on other countries because America's just as wild sometimes. But
fuck you, Canada.
Nick's like, do it. Fuck you, Canada. Trudeau, cry again, soy boy. No, I'm gonna stop. All right, let me stop. He's an entire leader of a nation. I'm gonna get assassinated.
But no, so North Korea is just, I think it's an easy target to play at right now. The whole dictatorship thing, or even if you want to go to Hitler, Hitler, that's screwed up.
Everything goes back to Hitler.
That's a whole...
all roads lead to Hitler.
Ethnic cleansing, like, god damn. And how does one person lead that shit? I don't know. That's fucking wild.
It's interesting you say that, actually, because I like look at a lot of Jordan Peterson stuff, the social psychologist out of Toronto. And man, like, a lot of things that he says kind of revolves around that. And that points specifically about Hitler and how the fuck can that happen with just one guy. But it happened with, like, cooperation from the people. You know what I mean? He didn't have a gun to these people's heads.
Due to
Not
advertisement, I guess we could call it. And
propaganda, basically. You know?
Yeah.
Don't cut that shit off. You ain't gonna disrespect my audio. Hold on, I'm sorry, Stevens. We getting in. Hold on, guys. Oh. Stop everything. This nigga just trying to disrespect my audio by playing some remix about a dude. We'll get to that later about what that is. Let me stop yelling into the mic because I noticed that last time. But Jesus, Nick. He's trying to low-key play a whole remix. It's just kid stuff, guys. Oh God, we're gonna talk about Abducted in Plain Sight a little bit later. Hopefully, we can have a lot of funny things to say about it. Yeah, go ahead, Stephen. I'm kidding.
So, well, I don't want to get too off topic, but anyways, there's a lot of media attention, and it's pretty much to the point where we're all focused into a screen, and we're not really looking around to see all the, I guess, God-given natural things, like mountains. You ever been into the mountains, kids? I bet you haven't. And if you have, you probably sat in your car and watched some fucking YouTube.
Alright. Mountains, kids? Huh?
You ever been exploring for like 5 hours straight in the middle of the woods?
Mm-hmm.
Hell no.
Some nice peyote.
Yeah, peyote.
No, you don't even need
Drive my cousin Rick real quick.
In the back of his 94 Impala.
Oh, man, I love that. You missed it. Steven was like, you don't even need directions. You don't even need directions. You want peyote. You don't even need directions. Alright, it's like a video game. You just press it and it's like a fucking arrow. You see everything.
It's pretty much. You just go and explore and you find yourself out there somewhere.
Right.
And then you start to really be happy. That's why everybody's friggin' depressed. Have you ever thought about that? You ever think about why you're depressed? Oh, maybe it's because you're sitting on your ass all day looking at a screen.
Yeah, maybe it's... God damn, dude. But back to like my main point about in your main point about how people are in their phones too much. People are in their phones too much. Their laptops, this, that, like whatever it is. People are in them like way too much. I love how Nick almost just fell over my bed. That was awesome. But yeah, people are in their phones way too much. People, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
God damn it.
Don't worry, he's not going to finish it. He's going to throw that up. Nick just poured like the rest of his rum into his cup, and I'm almost certain. And I hope he doesn't. I'm not saying I hope my friend throws up, but I'm looking at him, and I know him. I've been drinking with him for about a year now, and I know he's not going to throw up, but you're not going to finish that. I bet you $5. When I get it, I swear to God, I'll pay you.
Alright,
by
the end of this podcast, this will be empty.
Alright, and you won't throw up, and even that little thing you do.
How does it taste?
Try it.
It's too strong.
Try it.
No, that's cheating! That's cheating! Try it. No, go ahead, try it.
Just try it.
I'm gonna split it with Steven. You're trying to get my $5 from me.
Woohoo! Yeah.
Can I take a sip?
Yeah,
just a test. Just a test. Just try it. I knew what it was. I know it's a Nick drink. It's gonna be super strong.
Yeah, it's like...
It looks strong.
It's like... It's mixed with Coke, and it's like... clearish brown.
Yummy.
Wow, that is really strong, but it's not overpowering.
It's not overpowering, no.
You know what they say, man? I'm like the Gordon Ramsay of mixed drinks.
Damn! Gordon Ramsay.
Okay, we'll battle that out someday.
I feel like, just like the phone thing, it's really odd. Like, it's almost like if it was anything else, then people would probably think that it was weird, like it was odd. You know, if we were all like, imagine like, instead of like social media, we all just like walked around doing like this. If everyone, like, you know, if 3 generations of people in a row were just walking around going like this, people would be like, the Americans are sick. What's wrong with them? And eventually our fucking faces would hurt.
To describe what he's doing right now, the visual representation, he's like lightly smacking his face over and over again. So just think about that.
Yeah, I should paint the picture. That's a good point. I should paint the picture for the audience. Yeah, but like anything done like that, you know? Yeah. Imagine it was something really harmful that we were doing all the time. It's something that is going to show an effect eventually. Maybe not for you, but for your children, what have you. Yeah. But it's really weird that we all are so like addicted to it, and it's not a place of moral like high ground where I'm like, oh, all these people are addicted. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. It's not the same, but it's almost like, again, with like the Holocaust comparison you brought up. It's almost like, well, shit, how did that happen from one person? This whole country got wrapped up in this. So it's like, how did this whole, not just one country, but a lot of the countries, man. You go out to Dubai, it's the same thing. You go out to India, it's the same thing. You go to parts of Africa, it's the same thing. Of course, you can places like Canada and England, all that, but places, I'm naming places people don't think about as Americans. You always think about like the white countries and one or two Hispanic and maybe one black country, but everywhere people are doing this. China, Japan, Taiwan, everywhere people are really wrapped up in their phones. Yeah, I knew it. His eyes are red. His eyes are red, people. Audience, his eyes are red. But it's but he's wrecking it though. I'm not gonna lie. I gotta give my homie his A. He's wrecking it. But this shit's happening all over the place. And like, do you have any like personal experience with it? Like, if you want to talk about it with the Holocaust? Yes.
No.
The Holocaust.
I haven't experienced that.
Did you do it? No, I'm just
no, I'm only 23.
Come on,
man.
He's
Not
only
for a
23.
He's only 23, yeah.
Yeah.
He's not a time traveler.
But wait, experience with what?
Experience with people being in their phones too much and kind of ignoring everything else around them. Like, do you have like a personal story? Or any credentials that gives you like any type of like expert, like, you know what I mean? Like any type of like knowledge on it.
I've had friends that you'll know who I'm talking about when I start explaining. I don't think you will because you haven't been around them too much. But anyways,
fuck them. Say their whole government. No, I'm kidding.
What's their social?
What's their social security?
But,
where do they live at? Where do they grandma stay?
I've had friends though that are really, I guess, afraid to go outside and actually adventure because they're thinking of all the kinds of possibilities that could happen, and that's why they're so stuck into their devices like a PlayStation or their phone,
right.
And mainly the PlayStation. And so they have their own virtual world they can go to and escape to.
Real quick, I love how you're leaving me breadcrumbs. I love how you're like breadcrumbs so I can figure out exactly. But yeah, I do get the guy you're talking about, and yeah, but it's just a lot of people kind of have that problem. You know what I mean? Yeah. Another thing, Nick must be getting drunk off his drink because once again he's trying to disrespect my fucking audio. He's putting goddamn text messages in my face. So let me read this shit. I'm not gonna read it out loud, dude. What do you think this is?
What do you think this is, bro?
It's the same shit you've been dealing with, nigga. Anyways, we're gonna keep going with the show.
The suicide rate climbs to 100%.
Jesus Christ.
I feel like there's too many secrets in this podcast already.
Nah, there's not too many secrets. I mean, I just don't want to blow up anyone's spot. You know, my friend showed me a text and that's it. But there's not too many secrets. But just in general, yeah, people don't want to go outside necessarily, but still, like, they're plugged into something. So I do see your point. It's like, basically, God, we both sound like we're in like our 50s. Like, these kids got to get out more, but everyone has to get out more. We all have to. Yeah. That echoes what we talked about in our podcast. When you came on, the one we did together, you came on my first show. Yeah. People have to get out more. People got to be doing more than just sitting around, and it's really starting to show in people. You know what I mean? Like, I'm definitely no fitness model, but like, you're seeing it like, cross generationally. It's like people are like, it's rare to see someone who's like young and in shape. I think that's why when people see someone who's young and in shape, a lot of people flip out. That used to be the norm. It used to be the norm to see people who were at least healthy looking. Different body types, different genes going on, but at least healthy looking. But now it's like rare, man. It's really rare. Just like in other things, intelligence, young people with wealth, young people who actually are getting up and doing things. It's rare to see that, and people kind of trip over it. And this whole phone thing, God, I really sound like I'm a baby boomer right now. Maybe I am just like an old boomer. Man. Yeah, you fucking boomer. I am like a fucking boomer.
I think we just spent so much time doing what we're talking about right now, and we've kind of grown old to it. So like now we're starting to really think about it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that definitely might be true in certain cases. But again, with the whole phone thing, do you feel like there's a solution to it? Like, if we are discussing it and everything, what is the solution to? Because again, I mean, I like social media. I like getting on Facebook. I love it. I love doing this, being on a podcast. It's a social media. Anchor is a social media platform. It's just it's for podcasts. I love this shit. It's incorporated. It helps me run my businesses and all that stuff. Yeah. But how do we? Ooh, is that who I think it is though? Yeah, Put that away. Put that, because you're distracting me now. Because you know I think she thick. Damn it, Nick. Damn it.
My bad.
You knocked me off my pivot.
She just liked all my shit, so I had to...
Oh, damn it, I'm jealous! Go ahead, Steven. Jesus. You're right. See, it's Nick's fault. He's
my fault.
He's like Loki.
Oh my God,
he's like Loki.
Dude. He's the guy over here in his
like that. I just talked about the map stuff. So
no, it's good. It's good.
Okay. I'm good. I'm just testing it.
I just gotta tell you guys. I love you guys.
Wow. Okay. I love you. I love you too, man. I love you too, man.
All right, yeah, let's go.
All right.
You're worse than my brother. You're like, hey guys, hugs. Everybody hug me.
Beat you up a little bit.
My little brother, he loves coming in my room and just hugging everybody who I have a guest on my podcast. Every podcast, he makes sure to come in here and like hug someone. And it hasn't happened on mic yet, but it's always like in transit of something. 'Cause last time he did that shit. Well, actually, we didn't do a podcast that night. But he loves hugging all my friends and guests.
Yeah.
In just a very aggressive way.
At least he's kind of friendly.
He's kind of friendly. Yeah. Yeah, he'll be like friendly. He'll be like, oh yeah, by the way, I have no filter, but he's very friendly.
Look at this video.
Look at this video. Oh man, that's a whole nother thing. Okay. Phones though, guys. Phones. What do you think about it, Nick? So
I'm kind of a victim myself. I'm not a victim. I perpetrated the whole.
Mm-hmm.
I tend to be on my phone a lot, especially when I go out places. Like you mentioned earlier, I'm heavily into Instagram. But I try not to let it distract. Like, it's not like I'm always taking pictures.
Right.
So I try not to let it distract from like what I'm actually doing. But like, I at least try to make like 1 or 2 posts a day. I'm not really heavily into Facebook because it's like the older generation has taken over Facebook, and it's not really.
It's kind of boring.
It's not really our platform anymore. I think Instagram and Snapchat are more so our platforms.
Yeah, definitely. It's more like user friendly when it comes to younger people. Because I like using Facebook, and I'm active on Facebook, but it takes a lot of. I wouldn't even say energy. It's just, again, it's like a different type of energy.
I kind of think of it like
we're not used to kind of like having. It's because again, like Instagram's kind of simple, where like you take the picture, you can write whatever you want. You can write a bunch of shit under the description. But with Facebook, it's just words, and it's almost like it's more.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Facebook's more for people that you know, and Instagram's more for people you don't know.
Yeah,
it's like the hashtag system with Instagram. I know Facebook has like something similar, but no one uses that shit.
Yeah, they don't really.
I've never used it, but people on Instagram, like, you can just type up anything, like, let's just say like heavy metal or something like that, and you'll find thousands or millions of people that are into heavy metal that use those hashtags. You can connect with those people from across the world, but like on Facebook, if you don't know that person's name or you don't have any mutual friends with those people, you're not going to find them on Facebook.
Right. I think that our generation, and what you just said, kind of adds to this, but our generation really likes clout. Like, we really like the idea of popularity, and everyone does. Yeah, everyone likes the idea of popularity. Like, all generations, all generations and all those people within those generations. It's just, I think our generation, again, kind of has the comfort and the time to be, like Steven was saying about like us kind of talking about the whole like addiction to the internet and all that. We kind of we've gotten bored of it, and we can kind of now reflect on it. I think the same things happen with this whole like popularity thing. Like, we now know what popularity is, and we know the power of it and how you can harness it. And I think that's why maybe people our age, millennials, generation Z people, aren't fucking using Facebook as much, because it's like, well, you can't really get to that popularity as quickly as you can on Instagram. Like, I post something on Instagram, and maybe like I might get like 2-3 new followers just off of that post. Right. You post something on Facebook, you're not getting 2 or 3 new friends off of that post, even if it's public, even if it's worldwide, even if it's going all over. You're not getting 2 or 3 new friends.
You're just getting the same thumbs up.
Same thumbs up from the same people over and over again, and they start to kind of get bored. Like, okay, like what,
Yeah.
Something that's changed in the paradigm is like popularity is now monetized. People make money from their popularity now, especially on like Instagram, like promoters and stuff like that. Like, I saw this one popular Instagram person that came out and said, like, for every comment that they get 5 cents from Instagram. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. It was a long time ago, but something like that. And I think that helps push forward people wanting to be popular, always posting on social media sites. I'm sure it works some way like that, man. Because you got to think with YouTube and stuff, and even with Facebook, if you get a certain amount of views, you start to really make money, and ads are monetized and all that. So Instagram, at this point, they've had to have figured out some way to like pay people who are very popular. And that is a big question, I think, because I've seen a couple articles and videos about it. Like, well, do these Instagram likes equal money? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's because people are wondering. You got to think. Like, Selena Gomez, she broke the record a long time ago for Instagram followers. I forget, but it was like something crazy, dude. Like 200 million, 300 million people. Like, she fucking broke the record. I remember that. Selena Gomez was the first one to break that record. And the second that happened, I was like, I wonder how much extra cash she's making. Extra, because she's an actress and singer, and I'm sure she'll probably start producing when she gets a little bit older. It's one of those things where it's like, I wonder how much extra fucking cash she's making.
off of just Instagram. But I don't know. I mean, I'm relatively new to Instagram, really using it, and like you said, you kind of started back up.
Yeah.
And I feel like Reap, you kind of started back up with Instagram. Yeah, fuck that shit. No, yeah. let it break. Just let it break. But yeah. I don't know what we haven't really talked about solutions though. We're worse than our parents' generation. We're like, damn, problem. Where's the solution? We have to fix it.
Well, here's my final thoughts on this whole subject.
Columbine? I'm sorry. No. That's what I was trying to say. Like, you want more Columbine? Seriously.
Why is there always something irrelevant coming out of your face hole? LOL.
Something relevant?
Irrelevant.
Oh.
Like Columbine. Who said anything about Columbine? That's some more media shit, RJ.
Yeah, that would make sense if you got the word right and shit. I was talking to him, though.
Oh.
Yeah. You gotta, yeah, my bad. I wasn't done talking, that's all. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead then.
No, I'm done now. Well, Columbine was my last word. Go ahead. What's with you? Go ahead.
Final thought.
Alright, anyways, I don't know. I guess if you're going to be on social media a lot, just try to spread some positivity or something.
Yeah, man. Positivity is hard to find, I feel.
Positivity can be bad. And
so, sometimes it can be.
If it's misdirected, like, the whole body positive... I know I can get a lot of hate for this, but the whole body positivity movement, if you put positivity in the wrong place, it can be bad. It can be unhealthy.
It can be very unhealthy. Yeah, it can kill somebody. Kill somebody.
Like the Tide Pod challenge, when people were blowing that up, making that big. I mean, that could kill someone.
Yeah. That's not really positive, though. That's that's something... I don't know. That's something stupid.
Well, it's dumb. People kind of put... Like, if people put positive energy behind it, like, even the dumb people that are doing it...
I mean, sharing it is just positive energy. Like, you're...
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, the people that are doing it aren't saying, well, hey, why are you doing that? That's stupid. Those are the types of people who are like, oh, I'm going to do this challenge. So it is positive. It is a form of saying, well, let's be positive about putting Tide Pod.
Let's be positive about being size 52.
One thing that I think is more, or being super, whatever it happens to be. One thing about positivity maybe being a bad thing makes me think of, you don't have Hulu. I don't have Hulu either. I feel like Hulu is sort of, I feel like Netflix is better. That's a whole other conversation. Honestly, I feel like if you ask most people our age, it's like, I'm more of a Netflix person. But Hulu's pretty good. They got this new show coming out. I don't know if you know about the actual. I'm gonna start smoking too. But I don't know if you know about the show. But it's called The Act. And this is this case that happened. I remember I was working down the road here at the steel plant and shit. And I'm at my desk and I'm fucking like looking up shit. And the story I came across about this woman. I don't know if it's Texas or Florida. If you watch The Act, you'll know exactly where the place is. But I looked at the actual news story, and this woman pretty much pretended she had like Munchausen by proxy syndrome. So it's like she made her child. Yeah, she made her child sick, and the child wasn't really sick, quote unquote. So she made him sick. And it's like was saying that she had cancer and she was so sick and she was so weak and couldn't do anything, and the whole community came out and supported her. And I forgot exactly what the catalyst was to get her caught up in everything, but something happened. Someone was like, I think it took a group of people saying, this is bullshit, to like get everyone to wake up. But for the longest time, everybody was just like, if you're saying she's sick, she's sick. It's okay, give them positivity and support. No one had the balls to maybe say, are you trying to get her healthy? What's going on? We're giving you all this money. You're getting huge.
Are you talking about the movie that's coming out?
The movie, it's called The Act. It's called The Act.
Yeah.
I'm saying, but it's But it's a real thing, man. It's a real thing that happened. And it's like the mom's up here getting fat off other people's money. The fucking daughter is withering away. They're shaving her head and her eyebrows and shit. And by the way, when people do that, you can tell the difference between chemo and when someone's shaving it. If you shave your head, there's like shadow, eyebrow, beard. There's shadow, right? But if you have chemo, that shit falls out. There's no after a while. There's no shadow going on at all. And no one had the balls to say anything. Everyone had to be like, let's just fall in line. Let's be nihilistic. It's all good. Nihilistic in a certain way, but positive, right? They were positive, rather, right?
Right. Building.
But nihilistic, but nihilistic in the sense that it's like, okay, well, if your mom says you're sick, you're sick.
Right. Build it. Just a continuation from that. Also, negative positivity can be like on Instagram. I see like a lot of the young kids like posting like self-harm pictures, and like they get likes from
really?
Yeah, they get likes from that. And it's just like you can hashtag that, and I'm sure a lot of it gets taken down, but dude, I've seen so much from just certain hashtags, and kids like it, and they think it's popular and cool. Like I think a big reason that self-harm is more popular nowadays than it was is because of crap like that. Like people will post it, people I don't know, it's more in the media now. Like
Right.
a long time ago, you never heard of that. Like, think of like the 1930s. Like, can you imagine?
Oh, because you'd be in an insane asylum. You probably getting a lobotomy.
Yeah.
In the 1930s, right? But yeah, I know. I get your
But
point
it's so
though.
normalized
I get your point
now.
though, right? It wasn't normalized back then, and but for good reason. You know what I mean? But you're right. It's normalized now. So I agree with you, man. Yeah. The people think that it's normal, and it's like, you know. And
So
I mean,
much teen angst.
right. There was like a fad when I was growing up, almost. But I get from what you're telling me. Go more into that if you don't mind. Like people will post.
Yeah,
like,
I bet
pictures
you.
of it.
I bet you. I could pull it up right now.
Pull that shit up, man. Holy fuck.
I
Like,
bet
wow.
Yeah. It's wild.
Because I mean that could really. I mean, wow. Because like the dopamine reward system of people just, you know, getting likes off of that. That's not good. It's not good. Huh. And that's almost the way that people can kind of become addicted to a lot of things. I mean,
Look,
cutting yourself. Putting your own
if you hashtag suicide,
Look
it's
at that.
8.2 million posts.
Wow, that's a holy shit.
Yeah.
So in suicide
Suicide
hotline,
quote is 19.2K.
Hold on, wait, hold on, wait. I want to point that out. Let's read that. Can I read this real quick?
Yeah.
It's suicide. Hashtag suicide's 8.2 million posts. Was it suicide? Which second one? Suicide quotes is 19.2 thousand, and then for suicide hotline is 23.8 thousand. So the suicide hotline has way less
Millions
posts.
less.
I mean, yeah, you're right. Millions less posts than hashtag suicide. And what happens if we click on suicide? I really wish I had a visual element.
It comes up with the hotline.
Hotline stuff and okay. Good.
But you used to not be like that. I bet you. I mean,
Oh wow, it's interesting. It says like, can we help get support? That's interesting. When I clicked on it, like a message came up on your phone that said
self harm. 704,000 posts.
Wow, man. I was hoping that would die out. I was really hoping that would die out. Because my experience with that is usually like it was more like a music thing and like a fad and like we're edgy, we're all edgelords. But you know, like when someone's really sick, they will do that. Like in prisons, man, there are people who have like chunks of their arm taken out because they've been like cutting so much, and you know, like mental wards and all that stuff. It's like, you know, so people really do that as a coping mechanism. But it's like if you add to that again, I'm gonna use the word again, clout, popularity. It's like
You do get clout for that.
Yeah,
in certain subgroups, you do get clout for that. I remember high school, man. You were not necessarily cool, but you were like more, I don't know, like dark and mysterious if you obviously had like some sort of mental health from like even nowadays. I guarantee you, still in high school, because I remember when I was in high school, if you say people going around like making up mental illnesses that they had, like self-diagnosed, like I have clinical severe depression and stuff like that. You're like 14, you've never been to a psych ward in your life.
Never been to see anybody. It's like, who told you that?
But you get more clout in certain circles.
Yeah, people think it's cool. I remember I thought that I had like a straight up OCD when I was younger because I was getting anxious and stuff, and I couldn't put words to it, and I thought like, oh, it's just obsessive compulsive disorder. But after a while, my mom was like, yeah, you don't got OCD, RJ. That doesn't. Here, look at these videos. That doesn't make it. That, you know, like think about it. And I was like, well, I don't have OCD. You know, but again, if I didn't have a decent parent that said, nah, cut the shit, RJ, then I might have ended up being one of these guys who's like, oh man, holy shit, dude. I got fucking bipolar. How do you know, RJ? My mama told me. It's like, what? No, dude.
Not a lot, but I'm sure some parents do feed into that. Like, especially younger parents.
Like the fucking, like the act girl I just talked about.
Like,
and all that.
Yeah, like Munchausen's, like,
by proxy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's like a mild form of it in a way. Kind of feeding their kids thinking that way.
Oh, yeah, I gotta take little Susie to therapy. She's 13 years old, but, you know.
Yeah. She cried. I saw her crying once.
I saw her cry once.
I saw my 13-year-old daughter cry. She must be depressed.
It can't be like, you know, normal teenage hormones or something like that. She's severely depressed.
And I feel like the people that are really depressed, it kind of you end up like ignoring them.
They fall under the they fall through the cracks. I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
If you're getting so overnumbered by people that are faking it, I'm sure like some people are afraid to come out because they think that they're doing it for attention.
Right. They definitely see that. They think they're just you know doing it for the same reason these other people are doing. It really is interesting how people can kind of get like sick off of just attention and trying to like be online. And I think it's such a weird epidemic that people start to assume. Like I've had a lot of people, man, in my life when I was like little to like everything. They assume that, like, well, you must be doing this for attention. Oh, no. I shared this because it's about something I thought was important. No. It must be attention. So you think everything that everyone does is for attention? Yeah. So is everything you do for attention? Yeah. Whoa. Okay. There's the issue. It's almost like, you know what I mean? It's like if you're assuming, like, whatever vibe you give off, that's the vibe you're gonna get. If you're assuming everyone's doing something for attention, then that's kind of the people you're gonna surround yourself with. You know what I'm saying? Like almost like what you're looking at. I'm not gonna blow anything up. Don't worry. But if you have someone, let's say you're in a relationship with someone, and they're trying to be manipulative. At the end of the day, man, I don't care how much you love them. You gotta be like, yo, you're being manipulative. This is attention. That's all it is. And that's it. Because and again, it's not you telling that person, hey, you're a piece of shit because you want attention. We all want attention. All human beings, especially the three of us sitting here, we're all fucking artists. If you don't want attention, you're probably not a good artist. And that's real. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man. You know, seriously. If you don't want to smell of fucking horse shit in the morning, guess what? You're probably not a decent farmer. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man. Like, not, you know, it's a gift and it's a curse. Everything's a gift and it's a curse. It's like, I can paint well, I can act well, I can play the guitar well. It's like, yeah, but you're also probably an egomaniac.
Probably also cutting your ear off and sending it to someone.
Right! There we go. Perfect. That wasn't Picasso, was it? He cut his ear off.
Van Gogh.
There we go. Perfect. That was Van Gogh. You know, yeah, he's a perfect example of that, where it's like he was this amazing artist. You know, his self-portrait with like the patch, all that, amazing. Very good art, especially for the time. Just objectively, it looks good. But dude was a psycho. Mailed his fucking ear to some bitch, right?
For attention.
Yeah, for attention.
Even if you look back in the day, things still were for attention. It wasn't so prevalent.
Right. It just wasn't as out there. But social media's kind of helped that. And again, I don't think that it's all bad. Like it's all this negative, weird thing. I feel like it's one of those things where, again, it can be channeled in a positive way. You know, the first guy, I actually heard this on JRE the other day on like Joe Rogan's podcast about and it was actually Duncan Trussell, I think, who told him this about how when, and I haven't looked into this myself, but I believe these guys they're much more successful than me. And they actually look into shit. It's like the first guy who suggested that doctors wash their hands before delivering a baby. The guy went to an insane asylum. They put him in an insane asylum. They thought he was crazy for suggesting that perhaps we wash our hands before we deliver babies. Because babies kept dying. That's one thing about the mortality rate of infants back in the day. Like, oh, it was so rough. Bears kept eating all the babies. No, dude. In certain cultures, people were nasty, didn't wash their fucking hands, and the babies kept dying. That's what was happening. But no one wants to really talk about that, but whatever. It's other reasons. But again, I'm talking about all different types of cultures. It wasn't just Europe, Africa, whatever. It was everywhere where they weren't washing their hands. And the first guy, I think he was a European doctor, who was like, you guys, we should wash our hands. No, insane asylum. So what I'm saying is, it's almost like, I understand social media is an issue, it can be a problem, but you gotta look at it objectively. You know, just like with the guy, you know, people probably like, oh, he wants to wash the I don't know, the knowledge away or something. But to look at it objectively, think about what he's saying. Using water to purify your hands before delivering a child. It makes sense. It makes sense that people want attention. It makes sense that people want to do things. But again, we have people cutting themselves. You have people ignoring their grandparents, their brother, their sister, their mom, their loved one, what have you, for social media. That's when it becomes a sickness. That's when it becomes weird.
Also, just building upon that, the negativity in social media, well, it hasn't been brought up yet, is anti-vaxxing. It wasn't such a big thing before Facebook and all that.
That's true. That is really true. I mean, I remember growing up, I would hear about people having their opinions on vaccinations, but now it's like a whole big movement where it's like, oh, I want my kid to get vaccinated. And it's like, well, do you feel that way because you're... And my whole take on it is like, well, do you feel that way because you actually don't want your kid to be vaccinated and you know the research? Or do you feel that way because your friend Helen posted something that was convincing and now
along
you're
with her macaroni salad recipe.
Yeah, right, along with her macaroni salad recipe and her fucking picture of her poodle and shit, and she posted a meme you thought was funny, but also now you're gonna dictate the health of your child off of what fucking Helen said. And the same people who are like, I'm not getting my child vaccinated, are the same people that'll have their child
themselves.
They're vaccinated themselves.
They are vaccinated themselves.
And they're fine. And they're fucking fine. It causes autism. It causes this, that, and the third. Okay, again, I have a lot of theories personally about what might cause autism, things like that, this, that, and the third. I don't think it's vaccines, man. Don't think it's vaccines. Heavy metals. I don't think they're in the vaccines, though. And also the vaccine's getting injected into your bloodstream. There's something called the blood-brain barrier. And I don't even know a lot about it, but I know that it's a barrier between your brain and the rest of your body. And a lot of things can't really pass that. Again, heavy metal might be different, but it would make sense if the vaccine was injected into your brain, because we know that, again, if you're autistic, it's coming from your brain, but it's not being injected in your fucking brain. It's just being injected into your fucking arm, into your bloodstream. So it doesn't make any sense.
Autism.
Well, right, and that is like the going theory that autism, like is genetic. So exactly, going off of that, going off of what's the known science, what everyone agrees on now, it doesn't make any sense. Right, because I have heard that about the genetic factor of autism. I heard, I keep referencing this guy's fucking podcast. I swear I'm not a clout chaser, but Joseph Rogan, man, he had his friend Brian Callen on, and they were talking about vaccines and how and he was a guy who was talking about how his child is so hyperactive, this, that, and the third. And I think a lot of what we call autism, and I don't want to get too off track, so I still want to talk about ethnic maps with you. And be careful, don't drink too much of that. I'm kidding about the bet. I mean,
it's bet.
Is it? Oh, it's a bet. No, it's a bet. Nah, Nicky. Maybe some of that could come from, again, talking about what we call autism and these other behavioral disorders. It might come from perhaps a lack of discipline in the home, a lack of personal discipline. Because again, if you're 14 and they're saying you're autistic, this, that, and the third, but you still have all these issues, it might be self-discipline at that point. I saw a video of this guy. He was this dude. He was like in his late 20s, maybe early 30s. He had severe autism, and he kept he tore up everything in his bedroom, his whole bedroom. He tore up everything in his bedroom, but the rest of the house was fine. And it's almost like he kind of knew, okay, if I fucking go outside and I start fucking up everything, the police are gonna be called. But if I fuck up my room, I'm fine. They're gonna let me stay here. I'm good. So at a certain level, he does understand that you can't break things. He does get that. It's just that he's been, they kind of allow him to get away with breaking things in his room and breaking things there. Mm-hmm. But he knows, you can't go outside and do crazy shit. It's like, okay, they might allow that shit in the house, but you can't go outside and start fucking with people and saying okay, well, I'm gonna say what I want to say around everybody. If a motherfucker's 6'7", nothing but muscle, you're not gonna talk shit to him. Oh, my son's autistic, that's why he called me a bitch. Okay, you see that giant tranny over there? Let your son go call that giant tranny a bitch. Let's see what happens. He won't do it because he knows better. So you let him. Ma'am. Yeah, it's ma'am. That dude from the fucking video. Because that motherfucker looked like he was ready to hurt somebody. Very aggressive from the GameStop video. But seriously, it's like, you kind of let people get away with certain shit. They think they can do it all the time. They think they can just kind of say whatever. They think they can kind of do whatever. This, that, and the third. Yeah, I knew it. See, why would you ruin the drink like that? It's all good. Jesus. It's like, yeah, man. It's one of those things, man. No, man. It's not all good. Yo ass, man. I told you. Anyways. You lost the bet, by the way. But okay. This nigga owes me $5, everybody. All right. No. Midnight Sol owes Richard's favorite son $5 fucking dollars. Okay, and I call my brother as a witness, even though he wasn't in the room. No, it's all good. I'm fucking with you.
Also, just go ahead. Kind of.
I'm enjoying this. I think we're a little drunk, but I'm enjoying it.
Just to deviate off a little bit.
If
you look at the rates of ADHD diagnoses between males and females, it's staggering how many more males are diagnosed with ADHD than females. And I think that just kind of goes to the fact that even at a young age, men or males are different than females. Mm-hmm. They're expected, even at a young age, like 5th grade, maybe, to sit in a room in front of a teacher, in front of a whiteboard or whatever have you, and just be taught like that and only go to recess for 30 minutes like once a day. That's not how it works.
Right.
It's not how it used to work.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
just to remind the audience of your original point when you started this, but it doesn't work for any kid, but especially for young boys. Just to remind, especially for young boys being,
they get a little bit restless because they can only go outside once a day. It's
ADHD, autism, Asperger's. You must. Oh no,
Back in the day, man, all they had to do was go outside and play. Especially young males are not meant to be sitting in a closed space or meant to go out and explore. I think it goes back to whatever memory, even genetics and just the human condition of being, as a young person, you need to go out and explore things. You need to go out and do things because you need to get your bearings in the world. And if you're sitting in a classroom, you're going to get a little bit restless.
Of course. And again, so do the girls. But I think, again, my point is that the boys even more, So I think maybe all the kids. It's just a problem. We're not letting kids get out enough. You know, it's like one issue that I noticed with people who like lash out and do like lash out like violently. You know, who are like ostracized. Again, cross culturally, man. One thing is you look at some of them and it's like, okay, well this motherfucker definitely didn't play outside as a kid. You know what I'm saying? It's like whoa. Again, for real, think about your Elliot Rodger, your Nick Cruz. Think about your whatever. You know what I mean? Nick Cruz is I was gonna say the big-eared kid, but yeah, Nick Cruz, he was the big-eared kid. But like a lot of the school shooters, and even some like these, you know, gang members and things like that. Some of these people who like lash out and do crazy shit. It's like you can tell, like, holy fuck, like, you know what I'm saying? This person obviously didn't. And they'll start talking to people and say, oh well, holy fuck. It's like Jesus Christ. It's like they can't have a normal conversation. Like if Nick Cruz was in this room with the three of us, first of all, I'd break his neck because I know he's a fucking shooter. But it's one of those things where if he was in the room with the three of us, he couldn't talk to any one of us. We're all very different people. He couldn't have a conversation with not one of us. You know? I mean, with the detective who was interviewing him, he's like, oh, God made me do it. And the detective was like, no, he didn't, man. Like, you know, he really thought people would buy his bullshit. Like people would buy. He really thought people would buy his bullshit. And it's like, dude, you must have not. Okay, now I get it. It's like, you know, oh, that maybe that might be a thing. And the detective was like, yeah, I get it, kid. Like, you're full of shit. You think you're gonna get the fucking insanity plea? It's like, no, dude, you're fucking 16, 17. You know better. Stop it. You know. And yeah, but unfortunately, again, I don't know this guy. Again, he probably was just sick. I don't want to make any big thing about, you know, the Parkland shooting and these other shootings, but and that's like the extreme, you know. But when it comes to like just your average person, you know, it's like let your kids go out more, man. Let your kids go out more, and if you're an adult, get out more yourself, man. Human beings are not meant to be in fucking cubicles. Yeah, we're talking about kids here, but I don't give a fuck if you're 60. You're not meant to be in a fucking cubicle. You're not meant to be. Oh, I go here and do something I don't like all the time. That'll shorten your life, man. That literally shortens your life. People give me shit because I'm a smoker. That shortens your life. Yeah, but that fucking job you hold that you think is so near and dear, or that fucking person you're fucking that you think is so near and dear, this thing you like that's so near and dear, that's killing you, dude. That's killing you. I'll enjoy my lung cancer. I will die fucking happy. On some real shit. I'm being very serious. I will enjoy that shit. As opposed to that. I'd rather let my own choices take me out than someone else's choices. You feel me? So it's one of those things, man. I am passionate about that, you know, because as a kid, man, I got out and stuff, but at the same time, it's like, you know, different circumstances would have been better to have more encouragement to actually get out, explore as a man, and get your bearings even earlier, you know. But I'm glad for all the, you know, the trials in my life, because it's like, well, fuck it, made me want to get the fuck up and get out of the house. I'm like, this is uncomfortable. Not a comfortable childhood, but it's like, again, after a while, it's like, well, shit, I'm 13. Let me go on this bike and go see what's up.
I think it has a lot to do with, even now, I mean, especially nowadays, young men acting like children, because they never got to experience the full childhood experience like they used to back in the day. Children, I mean, I don't think it used to be as prevalent as it is now.
Yeah, I don't think, but it definitely is, it's common now. Yeah, I'm sure it's always been a thing.
It's very common now.
Yeah.
And it's because they didn't get to act out their fantasies or whatever as a child. They didn't get to go outside, build a fort and shit like that.
Right, so now it's like, well, their fort will be Fortnite. You know what I mean? Me and Steven talked about this earlier. He talked to you and me about this earlier, about people on Fortnite, how it's a lot of kids, and it's a lot of pro gamers. Okay, now the kids, again, I'll excuse that, man, because they're kids. Of course they're playing Fortnite all day and night. Of course they're running around and being crazy. But these pro gamers that are on there...
35 years old.
35 years old. Again, when I say pro gamer, that's like self-titled. Because they're not going in, like, to no competitions. They're just, you know what I mean? They work at, like, Staples, and they come home, and then they play their game, you feel me? It's like, and not to joke on Staples, full disclaimer, I used to work there. I quit that shit, but I used to work there. I've worked a lot of places. That's why I'm doing this now. But, you know, it's like, yeah, they'll go home, they'll play their shit, but it's like they're trying to act out this fantasy of, like, you know, running around and being, you know, hunting and being this hero. It's like, hey, man, listen, dude.
We can go do that in real life.
Yeah, dude.
Well, not hunt people, but, like...
Right, but no, we live in the Tri-City area, dude. I live in Petersburg, Colonial Heights. Is right over there, man. They got plenty of sporting and pro shops and shit like that. Go and buy a gun, okay? Registered, good. You know what I'm saying? You're someone who plays Fortnite all the time. I doubt you have a record. Go buy a gun. Go out to the woods and hunt. Again, not hunt people, Nick. But, you know, again, hunt a fucking deer. This is Virginia.
The most dangerous game.
Yeah, this is Virginia. Hunt a deer. You know, I'm not sure the legality around bear hunting and things like that in our state, but, you know, go maybe hunt a bear, hunt something. Go out west, hunt a couple coyotes. You know, go hunt. Go hunt. You know, or maybe go with your friends and, like, you know, and actually do something and interact. You know, don't necessarily be like, okay, well, Fortnite and that's it. Fortnite or bust. And even me with like my podcast, like anyone
so...
who knows me and who's honest knows that like I don't just talk, I don't just say things. Like I actually like live out what the fuck I say, and if I fuck up, I admit it, like straight up. And it's the same thing with the Fortnite thing. It's like, okay, if you're gonna play the game and you want to come in here and like wreck and like own all these kids, at least own it. At least own it and say, okay, well hey, I'm 35, man, but maybe there's something else I could be doing. Go ahead. I mean,
no, it's good, especially like even apart from the mental issues that go along with sitting down and playing Fortnite for 19 hours straight.
Right. And not to pick on Fortnite. I mean,
fuck Fortnite.
Okay, damn, he hates Fortnite. I guess. All right.
Apex all the way.
Apex Legends all day. Fortnite stole that shit. That's a whole nother thing, bro.
But anyways,
go ahead.
Sitting down for an extended period of time, humans are bipedal animals. They're not meant to do that. You know how unhealthy it is? Even if you have a cubicle job, you're sitting down at the office. You're not meant to be sitting down for extended periods of time. It literally shortens your life and gives you a list of health problems.
Right, yeah. Like the whole thing about heart disease, we've all heard about that as Americans. Heart disease. To me, that sounds so weird. Heart disease. And then I got older and I realized, like, heart disease is like when you have
too much soul food.
Right. I mean, too much soul food or too much anything. Too much of anything that's bullshit. Every culture. If you go up to Canada and have too much fucking Canadian bacon, if you go out to England, and you eat the English breakfast, you got that every fucking all the time. Guess what, dude? You might end up with fucking heart disease. That like pure English, it's all beans and it's pork and it's this and that. It's cross cultural. So I'm not gonna buy that. It's cross cultural, man. But the whole heart disease thing, just I got a fatty heart. That's it.
Is it?
And perhaps that got inappropriate to say at a certain point. That, hey, you made the wrong choices. So you have heart disease. Again, maybe even with the depression. Again, back in the day, it might be get the fuck off your ass. But now it's like, he has depression. She has depression.
Literally getting outside. I know a lot of people are like, I can't go out and do things. I mean, as an individual that has actually been diagnosed with like depression or whatever, going outside helps. Getting that vitamin D, going out and doing things, I think it helps alleviate a lot of those symptoms.
Right.
I think why depression is so prevalent nowadays, people are getting diagnosed, other than the self-diagnoses and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah. Go ahead. I'm just trying to find one of these ethnic maps, but they're popping up.
People don't go outside.
Right, yeah. Because like with the self-diagnosis, if you think you have, if you are depressed, not do you think you have depression in the 7th, third, but if you are depressed, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
If you are depressed, he's over here struggling. Nick is struggle city. I still have some drink left, and I'm feeling pretty good, guys. I had a fruit smoothie this morning. I worked out last night. I'm feeling pretty good. This nigga over here struggling.
A healthy thing.
Yeah, I had one piece of fruit, and I slept 2 hours. All right.
What?
I had an orange, Steven.
Some vegetables.
I had an orange.
Oh.
I have cabbage.
Cabbage is good, man.
Cabbage is definitely good, vitamin K. Yeah, no, don't try to deflect on this, Steven. You're struggling.
Steven,
you missed it. You missed it.
Steven,
remember that fucking... No, me and him just made? This nigga almost just threw up. So you owe me $5 by the end of the night. I swear to God. You owe me $5 by the end of the night. Okay.
I already gave you 2, bro.
That's outside the bet. You already know I'm gonna get you back for that shit. That's outside the... Hey, don't try to make me look broke on my own podcast, nigga. I just said I had businesses at the beginning. And this is gonna end up being a fucking clip now. So congratulations.
You played yourself.
Alright, but no. I think my point was I think it's important. I think that's very important for people to hear that. To hear people like you say that. I've been diagnosed with depression. And and going outside, can help. I think in episode 1 when I talked to Steven about his mountain biking and about trying to have a more positive attitude, this, that, and the third. To hear people that have, I don't even want to say diagnosis, but that have fucking proof. That have proof of their struggles. It's very important to hear people like that say, "Well, no, just get up and go." Because then people who don't have those struggles, it's like, what the fuck is your excuse, man? I don't use you as an antidote all the time, but I'm not gonna lie, full disclaimer, I do. And sometimes I use Steven as an antidote. It's like, well, hey, and I know names, but I'm like, hey, man, well, I got a buddy, he's going through this, that, or the third, and he ain't saying that. He's not doing that. Like I worked at O'Charlie's, man. There's a handful of people who was just always complaining, always just, oh man, I can't, nothing's working out for me. oh God, I have all these family issues. Da, da, da. Oh man, my back hurts. I'm like, well, hey, I got a buddy or two, and his back hurts all the time. I got a buddy or two, and that family thing you're going through, you're saying, oh, F my mom, F my dad. Well, be lucky.
He doesn't have a mom.
I mean, yeah, no, shit. I mean, I'm being totally serious. I'm not using it as an anecdote, but yeah, bro, I'd be like, hey, I got a buddy who, his parental situation, like, blew up.
I mean, just long story short, just don't be a bitch.
Pretty much. Just
put it in layman's terms. Just don't be a bitch.
Basically. But layman's terms, that would be like a 2-minute podcast. So I gotta stretch it out. Don't ever lift your eyebrow like that to me ever. This thing was like, I said, you gotta stretch it out. This thing was like, well, sometimes with them chicks, you got to stretch it out.
God, man, I'm trying to do a freaking podcast. Hold on, I'm gonna turn my phone off.
Alright, straight.
Freaking.
You gotta go airplane mode.
I gotta do something, man.
Yeah.
There we go. Alright, it's all good. Yeah.
Shit, what's Steven doing?
Steven, you haven't been on the podcast in a minute, man. Come on. You're part of this group.
No, I had my episode. It's okay.
He's on that Insta.
See, you're not a real YouTuber.
See, the way I'm set up, my nigga, me? The way I'm set up? I'll be YouTubing all the time. I'm gonna be like one of those aggressive live stream YouTubers who's always running around starting shit with people, like to get like clout and shit. There's a few guys like that. Like, not starting shit, I shouldn't say starting shit, but like they'll go out and they'll kind of just, like do certain things. Like there's an Ice Poseidon clip. He's just he just does live streams. He's like a Twitch guy, but he's like known for live streams. And he was out. He's from he lives out in LA, but he's from Florida, lives in LA, but he was vacationing in England or something. And there was some fucking homeless dude who was like, hey. He didn't know him. He didn't know the guy. He just yelled at the guy. He saw some kid with a camera. He's like, hey, come here. And Ice is like, what, dude? This guy wants me to come over. Let's just do it. And he did it for the content. He just walked over to this guy for content.
Might get stabbed.
Yeah, might get stabbed. He might bite you. This nigga might have AIDS. Who knows? But he walks over to the dude, and the guy's like, oh, come here. And they go over to, like, this building, and, like, the guy's, like, hiding by the building, and the guy's like, listen, I'm a fucking Secret Service agent. Or, like, he was like, I work for the Queen, and there's these guys over here, I'm gonna kill them, like talking about someone else. So he was just saying like crazy shit. I'm not sure if that's exactly what he said. But he was saying crazy shit like, I work for the Queen, I got all this training. And then Ice was like, I don't know, man, like this guy might do something to somebody. We gotta call the police. We gotta call the cops and stuff. And I was like, all right, that's kind of noble. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, you just want the clout. Like you just want this content.
What's that dude?
Like what's he doing? Like
Logan Paul.
Yeah, Logan Paul. He's another one. He's pretty much he's not a live streamer. They do other stuff, but. He's in the same.
When he went to Japan, the suicide forest was like,
oh my god,
we found a dead body.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so sad.
Yeah.
Let me video. We're gonna blow out the face. Let's videotape this.
Let's show the body. Take the face out. This is someone's loving it. And just to give the audience context to exactly what we're talking about.
Logan Paul is.
Logan Paul and Jake Paul, the Paul brothers. The older one, Logan, went out. He made a video on his own channel and going out. And this happened a while ago. And of course, you're right. They probably know it. Just to give them background. In case you don't know, he went out to Japan and he ended up going to this famous suicide forest. I'm not sure the name exactly, but he went out there, man. It's a place where people like go to kill themselves. And in his defense, he wasn't really making fun of it. He was kind of shocked when he saw it, but he did continue to film. That was the whole thing. I'm sure, again, you probably already know about it. One thing a lot of people don't know is I've seen all the footage from him going to Japan. Most people have only seen that forest shit. I've seen all the footage. And they did a lot more shit than just the suicide forest thing. That was actually the least offensive thing he did in Japan. There was this thing where, because in Japan, the Japanese, they do have their hang-ups. They're not perfect people, but they're very respectful. They're very respectful. Well, so are you, Nick. They're very respectful. Well, that's perspective. They're very... I'm not sure. Hey, man.
Come on, man.
They're very respectful over... I'll get you back for that when I'm done. But they're very respectful over there. And, like, they're very quiet in public, you know? And they go on the train, him and his friends, like, these huge, like, fucking, like, 6'3" white dude Neanderthal motherfuckers are running through.
Oh, come on, man.
No, I say that out of love. I don't mean, like, come on, we all got Neanderthal blood in us, mostly, like... No, seriously, it's Logan Paul, he's running through the subway, and they're like, ah, like, they're up, they're like, they have their hands above their heads, like, yelling, and all these, like, polite little Japanese people are just, like, not really trying to look at them, and they're just running through, bothering people. They go to, like, some sacred, like, temple, and they start yelling at people. I know they yelled at the temple. If I remember correctly, I think he put his hand in the water, did something like that, but I know they were in the temple yelling. I did see that footage. It's like, dude, that Suicide Forest thing was, like, it got blown out of proportion because everyone's like, oh, you're such an asshole. But, like, if you really think about it, like, the other shit was so much more disrespectful. I feel like if he hadn't done that shit, the Suicide Forest shit, people would be like, oh, well, he was surprised, he didn't know. But he already went out there to, like, fuck with people. That's good, bro. That's a segment, bro. We on Anchor, bro. They do it, like, hour by hour. But, you just combine the segment. Like, it just goes to another segment. Just to let the audience know what happened, man. I was talking to Nick, and he looked at the main monitor, like the big monitor near the wall, and it says we have 5 minutes left in this segment, and he looked like, oh my god. And I'm not gonna lie, dude, on my mama, I thought like a porno popped up or something, or like some girl messaged me and said something like kinky, and I thought like you saw that, and I was like, oh god. But I turned my head, and it's like, oh, it's the timer. It's just the timer. Yeah. I just want to talk to you about ethnic maps really quick. Don't throw it at me. Hey, bro, I know. Hey, look. Hey.
We all got problems. All right.
We all have problems. I just wanted to end with you on the ethnic maps and maybe abducted in plain sight a little bit. But
just a little bit of kid stuff, you know.
Just a little bit of kid stuff. But first, ethnic maps. You know, ethnicity maps, just kid stuff. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Black Lives Splatter. That's a joke from what's his name?
It's probably 4chan. I don't know.
No, it's not 4chan, it's an actual comedian. And he, like, I don't know, him and, like, he was a stripper, and him and one of his friends did something with, like, this French guy or something. They got paid. But it wasn't weird. I know it sounds crazy, but he tells the story on This Is Not Happening. It's like this show. God, I'm a weird guy. I look at weird stuff, don't I? Ethnic maps. Tell us a little bit about what you know about Scandinavia. Because the first map I had to pull up, I don't think it's a Scandinavian map. It's like it's like a more of an Eastern European map, but it's like Northeastern Europe, you know. But tell us what you know about Scandinavia, and I'll have Steven tell us about Poland. This thing is like, shit, I'm never talking to you again, you fucking nigger. Now go ahead. It's a joke, everyone. Go ahead, if you want.
About Scandinavia?
Yeah, about Scandinavia, yeah.
I mean, what do you want to know?
Well, I mean, what do you know?
It's a pretty broad question.
Well, ethnically, because we're talking about ethnic maps. Like, what do you know about the ethnic makeup of Scandinavia?
I mean, as you get further north from the equator, the features lighten, eyes get lighter, hair gets lighter, skin gets paler. That's to
You talking about the sun? Is that what you're trying to talk about?
Like the sun.
I told you guys, man. Nick's struggle city. Right now, we gotta give the audience a visual real quick.
Yeah, you need a cam. You need a cam.
Trust me, dude. I'm gonna get the video set up to go along with it. Trust me. But right now, my homie Nick is perched up in the guest seat, right? Perched up, laid back, shirt up a little bit, just showing. He's showing like bottom tummy, and because I know you're hot because you've been drinking all this rum, and he's just like, yeah, I mean, you know. Skin gets lighter. Hair get lighter. Niggas get whiter. Ain't nothing wrong with that, is it, RJ? Exactly. Shit. Y'all got Africa. Let us have Scandinavia. You feel me?
Oh, let's not even get... That's another podcast. We got.
Hey, that's all. Dude, yeah, you're right. Like, South African stuff. Because that's a... Dude, seriously. Next time, that might be episode 4 or 5 or something, but yeah. Let's not get off
migration.
Track. The whole migration thing. Because I'm not gonna lie. I've looked at some stuff and I have some opinions about it. But we'll keep it simple. It's like simple, of course, because we know each other. But yeah, definitely, I think we should talk about that. But no, about go dig deeper into Scandinavia, because again, the map I have to show you is about. It's like cultural. It's like names and how that like matches up with ethnicity. Mm. It's not. It's in Turkey, but it's like it'd be cool. You could even make a map that same thing in Scandinavia. But I think paganism as well. Are there any,
it's actually making a return in Scandinavia. If you
yeah, that's what
recently, especially recently, they've a lot of Scandinavians have gone back to the roots. I can't remember which Nordic country it was, But I'm pretty sure one Nordic country has gone back their official religion has gone back to paganism. I can't remember which country it was. I'll have to look it up later.
The official religion went back to
paganism. I don't know if it was official religion or one of the official religions, but
but it had like a huge rise in popularity, enough for it to become
recently,
enough for it to become like official. Wow, that's really interesting. What are like because again, I like I said, like I wasn't sure like even like how to label
this conversation.
And to approach not just this conversation, but labeling you on the last podcast, man. I wasn't sure, that's why I said pagan Instagram influencer, because that's what that again, going off of what you talked to me about, that's kind of what big thing. It's your religion. Just keep it simple. It's your religion, right? So in this next part, I just want you to kind of fill in people about what paganism is, because a lot of people don't. I mean, from your perspective, because a lot of people don't know what the fuck it is.
Oh wow. Okay,
So, in this segment, I just want to kind of talk to you about your understanding of paganism, specifically in Scandinavia. Because I know you've been to like a few like pagan services here in the United States where we live, in Virginia where we live. But like, if you're understanding like kind of the homeland of paganism, what do you understand about it? And I can go into like the roots of my I don't want you to feel like I'm asking you too much, because full disclaimer. But tell us what you feel about that.
Well, basically, paganism is, the dictionary definition is any non-Christian or pre-Christian religion. It's a polytheistic religion, mm-hmm. So that means they believe in more than one god. And paganism is such a just wide definition. So many different religions can fall under it.
It sounds like it is, because I wasn't aware of that at all. I'm not sure if any listeners are aware of that. The textbook definition is like any like religion predating Christianity, because really, it's like a lot of religions, from what I've heard, a lot of religions back then were like polytheistic. So that's
basically all of them were.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So I didn't realize that at all. I know like some people, a lot of people, I'm sure, and respectively, maybe not some others not so respectively, but a lot of people who are pagan do have like ethnic ties to it, like ethnically Scandinavian. But it sounds like to me then like a lot of the, going off of that definition, a lot of the like Eastern European, Asian, African, Native American religions, it sounds like those are pagan religions. If you go off just going off of that definition, just that definition, right? But I'm saying like maybe again, people like yourself, who do follow that religion, maybe you should speak on that more, because maybe then you can kind of like separate yourselves. Just me, as your buddy talking, maybe separate yourselves from maybe more of the hateful people or something, like maybe the people who kind of like take that and make it more about themselves and what they believe rather than like respecting the religion and their gods, because that's something where it's like that makes, personally, I'm gonna be honest with you, as a Christian, that makes me kind of respect the religion more. You know what I mean? Hearing that definition, I understand that obviously this African religion isn't necessarily paganism. If they heard you say that, they'd be like, what the fuck? And if the pagans heard you say that, they'd be like, what the fuck? But under that definition, it's almost like, hey, I'm black, you're white, but we're all red. It's like, but he's right. Like, going off of the definition of what blood is, we're all red. I'm just saying, to me personally, that's very interesting. But I wasn't trying to derail you. Go ahead.
What was the question?
I just go, because you were saying something about how, I know I talk a lot, sorry. If you guys haven't called on yet, sorry, I do speak. But, yeah. Go ahead with paganism.
You
motherfucker.
It's basically oh shit.
No, it's all good. It's my brother coming up in here.
Why are you gonna?
Hey, what's up, man?
No worries. Rip the door off and fucking.
Yeah, he loves me an extra. He loves me an extra. Yeah, you're like a video game character. He's like the brute character that comes in. Like, oh god, it's a brute.
The
gay you're good, man. Leave it. Come on, man. You make my studio sound ghetto.
Shut up, man.
Hey, man.
The homoerotic brute.
He loves hugging my foot. I told you guys. Episode 1. I told you guys earlier in this fucking same episode, I told you my little brother comes in here and hugs all my fucking guests. He hugs everybody. Now he's hugging him. Now he's hugging Nick. He's hugging Midnight now, dude. This is crazy. We're trying to talk about ethnic maps in Scandinavia and Africa and all this. He's coming in here hugging people. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna pause for 1 second. Rashad, say hi real quick. You coon? I'm kidding. I love you. Hey, that's my brother. All right, whatever, Faye. I'm kidding. We love each other. That's how we say we love each other in this family. We call each other homophobic slurs and cunts and shit. You want to? My brother's out of the room now, guys. Sorry, we're back. Not to keep him out of the podcast. He's gonna be like a guest at some point, but he had some crazy high school stuff to tell us really quick, so I had to pause it for his dignity and to keep all the names anonymous. Nick, you were just naming off because again, I want to just have this last little quarter about again ethnic maps, and you were saying like the parts of Scandinavia are like naming off like Denmark and Sweden,
Norway,
yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, so just to give you guys an idea of exactly where Scandinavia is, I feel like we should have said that at the top, but it's cool. It's my fault because I didn't say it. I pulled up because I'm on Instagram now, scrolling through, and I pulled up this page that I follow. It's called Everything Maps. Let me see if I actually got that right. I want to make sure it's everything about countries. No, I'm sorry, everything about countries, and it's everything _about countries. Pretty cool page, and these are interesting facts about Stockholm, Sweden. I was gonna read those off, but again, I don't want to jump around too much. Again, paganism. She gave us the textbook definition, and now I guess not to be Mr. Therapist, but what does like paganism? It's a serious question. What does paganism like mean to you as far as being the religion that you follow and the religion, the belief system, that you give yourself to, that you believe in? Like, what is it? Like, what does being a pagan mean to you exactly? If you want to talk about it.
It's mostly, to me, it's hard to put into words, but it's the feeling you get when you walk through the forest, you know what I mean? It's the ties to the earth, it's the ties to your ancestors, it's, You good, Steven?
Yeah, I'm just standing up.
He's just standing up, bro.
Do your thing.
It's,
this nigga had an axe, and he was like, well, time to kill Nick! He just stood up. Go ahead.
But yeah, it's basically that. I tend to look at paganism metaphorically rather than literally.
I feel the same way about Christianity, by the way, but yeah, that's a healthy way to look at it.
It's I believe in the forces of nature, and the forces of nature have a name. Thunder and lightning is Thor, and knowledge is Odin.
Yeah.
The power of your ancestors and stuff like that. I mean, a lot of it, not a lot of it ties into science, but some of it does, like epiphonetic memory, whatever.
Yeah, epigenetic,
yeah. It ties, like...
Which, by the way,
paganism, like, the power of your ancestors it's been a term for a long time, even before that was even brought up.
Yeah, it makes sense, definitely. Back just to backtrack one thing, about, like, Thor being, like, knowledge and...
No, that's Odin.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's what you said. Yeah. Like Odin being like knowledge and all that, and like Odin, of course, is the father of Thor, right?
Yeah, the Allfather.
Yeah. The what?
The Allfather.
The Allfather. Okay. I didn't realize that. Like, of course, I knew that they all had like their own representations, but I didn't know what those representations were. Like, do you want to? Because to me personally, I think to a lot of listeners, that's the most interesting thing about any religion, especially the ones that are openly polytheistic. And by the way, I think even Christianity is polytheistic, but if I say that, I'm a heretic or what have you. But I think almost all religions are very polytheistic, even though we dress it up differently. The Holy Ghost, Jesus Christ, and there's God, and then there's
it's all the same guy.
Then there's the Virgin. No, but I mean, pretty much, yeah. It's like it's all the same guy. Then you have the Virgin Mary, and you know what I mean. Then you have the 3 disciples. the 12 disciples, you have the 3 wise men, and you have Noah. It's like, well, it sounds like a whole cast of characters. It sounds like something I would write. It's like an ensemble cast, like all these different people. So, but stay on topic. Do you want to maybe give us some info about that? Because I think a lot of people don't really understand or know that about, like, how, Odin is like the representation, like the personification of knowledge and things like that. And,
well, if you look at especially, well, I don't know much about other types of paganism, but if you look at Norse mythology, it's not just the gods that are representations of physical manifestations, like Odin's ravens, Hunin and Munin. I'm sure I'm not pronouncing that. If you translate it, it's literally thought and memory.
What were the names again?
Hunin and Munin?
Hunin and Munin. You probably said it right. Wow, okay. It's like thought. You said it's thought and memory?
Well, paganism, a lot of things are
Like mental, it sounds like.
It's metaphors for physical manifestations.
Okay, right.
There's basically, it's a long-standing joke of paganism is there's a god for everything.
Oh, okay.
And it's basically true. If you look deep enough into paganism or mythology or whatever have you, there is literally a being or a character or a god for everything. And of course some gods reign over multiple little things.
Multiple, almost cause I'm really interested. It's not my belief system, but like Greek gods, like in particular, how like Poseidon is like, you know, he's the god of the ocean, but also the god of volcanoes and earthquakes, and also the god of there's another like deeper thing, like Apollo, for example. He wasn't a sun god at first. He was just the god of like multiple things, like he was music and dance and. But yeah, but I see your original point. You know, like that sometimes, like, you know, as human beings, we'll take the gods, or our god or our gods. It really doesn't matter, but we'll like attribute like multiple things to them. And it's always like the important ones that have like these weird like multiple things attributed to them. Like Apollo was very important. He's supposed to have given fire to people. You know, I mean, the basic like Greek god stuff. Because that's the only reason I'm into the Greek gods, because, you know, I learned it in school. I didn't learn it in church. But that's really, really interesting.
Well, if you look at it, a lot of the, especially in mythology or paganism, whatever have you, a lot of the gods are related. Even, not specifically, but even if you look at some of the Norse gods and the Greek gods, there's the All-Father or the king. Not phenotype, but, you know, the character. Archetype. The character. So, I mean, if you look all across Europe, a lot of paganism is related, especially, you know, Germanic paganism.
Right, yeah. Like the more I see what you're saying. It's like this again, like going off the definitions, like, well, paganism sometimes can be all over
Slavic
the place.
paganism,
right,
Germanic,
right, like all those
paganism,
the places that are like, especially when they're geographically like close like that. But even if you go further down south, like it's making me think of Osiris, like the god of death, which is, and I believe it's Egypt, the Egyptian god of death. Like, God, is it Horus? No, I'm pretty sure it's Osiris. But regardless of, again, I'll be better prepared next time. But regardless of what his name is, the Egyptians, you know, had a god for death. You know, and so did the Greeks. It was Hades. And so did the Romans. It was Pluto. And I'm sure the Norse people do. And us modern day American Christians do. It's the devil. Like, you know what I mean? Again, we don't worship the devil, look at him like he's a god. But guess what? Like the Greeks, I'm not sure about the Nordic people. But he's a character who's there, exactly, right? And just like, you know, there are no temples to Hades. You know what I'm saying? And in the Greek world, if you had a temple to Hades, you had to be out in the desert somewhere, away from people. Just like now, it's like, well, there are people who worship Satan, but they, you know, it's like, we don't, you know, they're weirdos.
They're blamed for a lot of,
that's
blamed for, even now, it's weird in modern culture when, especially like the 70s and 80s, whenever a crime would be committed, people would all be like, oh, had to be those satanic cults, you know.
Dude, I want to talk about that a little bit in like a second.
They got blamed for everything.
They did. That's why I know exactly what you're talking about. We're gonna get to that in 1 second, but just to finish my point about how the shit kind of just always like repeats. You know what I'm saying? Like again, first it was this, that, the third.
If you
there's
look
always,
across,
you know, culture.
You know, if you look at across human culture, it's basically all the same.
Right.
Just different names and slight differences between, you know, the names of the gods and the name of the characters and stuff. But if you look at mythology and all, it's kind of repetitious as a whole.
Right, exactly.
Especially, I look at mythology into two parts. You got the northern European mythology and the southern mythology, and I mean they interrelate, but especially like the northern mythology is like Slavic mythology and Germanic, and you know they got Wotan.
What the fuck is Wotan? I've never
heard
of
Odin.
that.
It's another name for Odin.
Oh, okay. Is that like Asian or something? Like
no, it was Germanic.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And there's Odin, which is obviously like the Scandinavian.
Right.
There's so many different names for the same gods, which is so blatantly obvious. And then when you get into like more specific little groups, there's slight differences, but
But for the most part,
for the most part, it's all the same.
Yeah, for the most part,
I think a lot of people see Europe before Christianity as like just a wasteland of just all these different religions and stuff like that. But if you look at it, it was really all the same.
It's really It was basically all the same.
It really was.
I feel that way about like a lot of places in the world, like especially like Western and Central Africa. Like I was looking at this ethnic map the other day. By the way, I feel like we're gonna get to ethnic maps like next time you're on. I think we don't have time this time, and this conversation's been pretty full. It's basically again you giving us more background about paganism. But I was looking at a map earlier on Africa, and it was like Africa like pre-colonialism and after colonialism, like the borders and everything. And, everyone thinks of Africa like, what must have been like this war-torn, crazy place forever. It's like, no, man, if you look at like the old map of Africa, it's like these tribes, these handful of tribes, and all this space that was really uninhabited. Like most of like the coast on the west was like uninhabited. That was just the beach to them. And they had groups that were like on the inside, but it was pretty much the same. And they had their own societies, and everyone coexisted, just like the way all the states coexist today. So it wasn't this crazy war-torn place. You know what I mean? It's like the Irish didn't need England to come in and like civilize them. They were civilized. Like the Vikings didn't need the English to come in and this never happened, but it's like at no point they need the English to come in and civilize them because they were civilized. They were humans. Some of even with that, even with the Vikings, I know they were blamed for doing a lot of crazy shit, but that was their culture. I'm sure there were some Vikings that were worse than others.
Warrior culture.
It was a warrior culture. I'm sure there were some that were worse than others. I'm sure again with Africans there were some that were worse than others. Native Americans, some that were worse than others. But my point is, after seeing that map with Africa and even hearing what you're saying about a lot of the European cultures, a lot of the European cultures and religions having similarities, it's like this whole dividing thing kind of happened in modern times. Back in the day, I mean, again, Africa, they always had wars. But it's like, they were nations living side by side. Everything was fine. You know what I'm saying? They were nations living side by side and everything was fine. But in the modern day, it's like you have a bunch of weird shit going on. You have an island, people like bombing each other. They're from the same fucking island. You have people bombing each other. And shit that's been happening for like, what is it, like hundreds of years? The troubles that are happening in like Northern Ireland? Yeah, it's the troubles. And, so it happens cross-culturally. So again, I'm not going to buy anything about, well, this place is worse, that place is worse, this is what's happening now. I feel like at some point, this is like tinfoil hat area now, guys. Alright, boys, put on your tinfoil hats. But it's almost like I feel like something must have happened at some point to screw over all of humanity. Like something came in and said, no, that's not your brother. Fuck that guy. Fuck that guy. He looks different. You sure?
I think, and you might disagree with me on this, but I think it was the rise of monotheistic religions, where in your holy book it was written that everyone else other that doesn't believe in the one God is a heretic and they must be converted. With the Crusades and all that kind of thing. It's anyone that doesn't believe in the one true God is a heretic and they must be converted. And I think that's what really brought brother against brother. And I know there was wars against polytheistic cultures, but it wasn't like a all-out assault against everyone that doesn't believe in the same God.
Right. No, that is very, very true.
It wasn't holy wars. It was land disputes.
Right, exactly. Right. I see what you're saying. It's almost like the whole idea of a holy war really didn't exist until monotheistic religions existed. And by the way, again, most Americans are ignorant. I know you're not. I know you know this, but like when we say monotheistic, because we're both using the term. When we're saying monotheistic religion, we're not just saying just Christianity. It's also Judaism. It's also Islam. You know what I mean? It's also Buddhism as well.
The worst.
Oh, Jesus. And that's where I lose my one sponsor. I had one sponsor, alright? It was Nickelback. They were my one sponsor. Now even Nickelback won't sponsor me. Don't sponsor anybody. But that's a really interesting take. That's an interesting take, one that I've never really thought about too much. Even though I definitely know about, I've heard, I don't know a lot about the Crusades, but I know like the basic gist of the Crusades and some of the problems that have come from like monotheism and just religion in general. Like we're both kind of saying, but monotheism specifically.
I mean, there's even problems within monotheism. Like within Christianity, the Catholics and the Protestants were at war with each other for years.
Right. Again, like just like with Ireland, like I said, like again, that was a Catholic Protestant thing. It was one of them was definitely I think it was Catholic and Protestant.
They were killing each other. They had to have. I think it was the 100 Years' War.
Probably
100 Years' War. Was Catholic against Protestant? I think it was the Catholics that were slaughtering the Protestants, and they had to like
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember.
Which makes it. Well, I got you. Yeah. Again, we gotta prepare more and drink less next time. But it's good. Fuck it. I feel good. But that does make sense. Though I would assume you're right about it was the Catholics slaughtering the Protestants, or at least winning that conflict, because since Catholicism is in America, it's number one Christian sect, and around the world, it's like it could be its own country. So I mean, it is
its own country, the Vatican.
Yeah, the Vatican. You're right. Yeah. But again, I mean, like the people around the world, like it's like economically and all that, including the Vatican, or not even with or without the Vatican, it's like it's very popular, is what I should say, around the world. Catholicism is like Catholicism is very, very dominant. He respected the studio this time. He ain't coming and bust the fucking door down. Me and Nick looked over like, oh god, is this nigga gonna really just run out? Is he gonna come in here again in the middle of an important one, in the middle of an important conversation? Oh, he heard me. He's coming back. He heard me. But shit, I got you, man. Let's plug in the power source. We got the power. Okay. Abducted in plain sight.
No, Abducted in plain sight. It's really all about the kid stuff.
It's all kid stuff. He knew what it was. He just wanted to test it. Like, all right. Let's finally get to this. Real quick though, here, Nick, I have to pee anyway. I need you to go ahead and let the people know, let their beautiful earlobes know, exactly what. Oh shit, we got a wire situation. Exactly what Abducted in Plain Sight is. Netflix show. Do you want to give them for real? Before we get in, because I know you have a lot to say about it. Go ahead and let them know exactly what it is.
I want to pause it real quick.
Sure. Hey, you good? I think so. I mean, I can if you need me to. But yeah. Alright, you beautiful bastards. Tell them, Nick. Alright. Tell them, Nick. Tell them what this is.
I don't know where we left off.
No, we left off right at Abducted in Plain Sight. About what that is, and I was asking you maybe go ahead and... Then my brother came in, I was like, oh yeah, Rashad's here. But yeah. Can we tell them what it is?
It's a Netflix documentary / docudrama.
Yeah,
about the abduction of a young girl, age 12. And it's probably one of the most entertaining series I've ever seen in my life, especially because it's true.
Right, it's totally true. It's like a documentary. It's all true, and it is. Even though it's a story about a kid getting kidnapped, it has to be one of the most entertaining things I've ever seen. Because again,
you can't make this shit up.
You can't. And that's the thing too. We might sound like monsters here. It's not about the young girl getting victimized. Because that really, when it comes to that. In this movie, that's the only really seriously bad thing that happened. Everything else was just kid stuff. Everything else, it was all the parents sort of fucking up and doing these weird things. This girl's an actress now, the one who was in Abducted in Plain Sight, and basically she was kidnapped twice when she was a little girl by the next door neighbor, and they were all these people were all I think they were Jehovah's Witnesses. Or something like that. The religion's really irrelevant. I mean, they bring it up later on in the documentary.
But is it irrelevant though? I mean,
they bring it up later. But no, I want to talk about
religions.
Of course, yeah. But I want to fringe, of course. But I want to talk more about the parents and more of that. Let's stay away from the religion thing because I want to. It has nothing to do with religion. Being a dummy, being an idiot, okay,
bro. Just to get off point, but on point, talking about the fringeness of their religion. Mm-hmm. While the dude went to jail, there was such a tight-knit group, because there's such a small group, when the guy went to jail for abducting the girl, all the church members sent this dude letters saying, oh, I know you didn't do that, you couldn't have done that.
Whoa, are you serious?
I am. If you rewatch the documentary...
I didn't finish it. Remember we said that this morning? I didn't finish it. But wow, because I didn't get to that part. So they were sending him letters in jail.
Even after he had gotten convicted...
Wow.
They were sending him, they had this mental block. Right. Someone in their tight-knit group.
That's my thing, though. Were they saying, hey, even though you have these problems, God bless you, that...
No. They were saying you could not have done this.
Oh, so they just didn't believe it.
They didn't...
mental block, they just...
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, man, it did seem weird. I feel like the parents kind of had a mental block. I feel like the dad was...
yeah.
The dad... Again, I'm not to be a dick at all, man, because listen to me, man, I'm half a fag on Wednesdays. But, the dad seemed he was a gay American man. But he couldn't. It was like he just wasn't. He didn't know like to say.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Is this kid stuff?
It's just kid stuff. It's just kid. God, we gotta explain to them what we're talking about because I know there's whoever listens to this. There's gonna be a few people who don't know what the fuck we're talking about. They're gonna be like, "What is this kid stuff thing? Like, what the fuck are they talking about?" We're gonna get to that, and again, we can get to the religion thing, and all that good stuff. Because again, even in like the first, because I think I watched like the first 3 quarters of it. I just get to like that last quarter. So we can talk about the religion stuff. I'm more than willing to, but just the basic common sense element of it. Like, first you're letting your wife go over. They don't got it. This ain't it, Chief. You know, I wish I could have been there. I wish I had a time machine to walk up to the dad and just shake him at work and be like, "This ain't it, Chief." Like, right before the dude picked him up, get him to blow him, I wish I could have come in and be like, "Sir, wake up. This ain't it, Chief. Don't go with him. Don't go with him." But again, not to beat up on the dad, because I really do kind of feel bad for him about the whole situation. His daughter gets molested, all this, that, and the third. But the wife was like smiling. She was like smiling about you know what I'm saying, about fucking this other dude. It was really fucking awful, man. I mean, it's one of those things where like, I don't know, man. Chick might have been a sociopath. No, that is, I fuck with that, bro. I do fuck with that, bro. We were taking selfies. Got the homies taking selfies. You feel me? Everybody got the selfies going and shit. Yeah, I just don't. No, I'm serious. I'm really trying to like formulate my words here, man. As far as mainly just like the chick and how like the wife and how like she was super cavalier about everything that went on, and the fact that they kind of like let her get abducted twice, and I do feel bad for the family. Like, full disclaimer, it's just. Because the first time she got abducted, it reminded me if I'm wrong here, but like, wasn't it some shit where she it was like the horse stables or something? I think
that was the second time.
That was okay. That might have been the second time. Okay, but both times wasn't it like, I'm gonna take her somewhere?
No, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. The first time it was the horse stables, right. And the second time he convinced her that it was like aliens.
Yeah, that's when he did the whole alien. Yeah. He almost like planned it. Like, he was like, "All right, this time I'll just kidnap her with the horse. I'll take her to the horse stables, knock her out, knock out this child. She'll wake up. I'll play these tapes."
If I remember right, and he gave her some water with pills in it. No, vitamins. He gave her vitamins.
Right.
Vitamins.
Right, but what I'm saying is, like, this was, he kind of went off of the seed he planted before with the alien shit. Like, when she woke up and she heard, like, "Oh, you must have sex this week." Because that's when she heard the tapes. For the horse tranquilizer stuff. Because he didn't just straight out molest her. He was, like, this crazy, like, weird, wanted to be, like, Gerald.
He went through some steps of it.
He went through some steps. He went through all the steps.
He didn't just write out, you know.
Oh, he didn't just look at a YouTube video. He read the manual. Because he kidnaps his girl.
He wrote the manual. Let's be honest.
He wrote it, and he fucked it. He takes this girl to the horse stables, knocks her out, and starts playing these like weird like recordings and everything to her. And then like a year or two later, that's when he capitalizes on it, because that's when he abducts her the second time and says, "Oh, well, we must go. You must let me impregnate you." Real sick shit, man. It was more than just wanting to fuck the girl. He wanted to like impregnate her. It was absolutely fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And I feel like in that shit, you look like this dude who's on the internet. I can't remember his name though. In a good way, in a positive way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's always positive. Yeah, it is, bro. Fuck, you think it's gonna be negative?
Oh, come on, man.
She messaged me first.
Alright.
Yeah.
No.
It's life.
Bad.
No matter what it is.
Bad.
Oh. But still, nigga. Anyways, abducted in plain sight. I give it 2 stars out of 3 because the parents suck. They suck. All right, I'm gonna break it down.
The father, literally.
Seriously, literally. Let's just break it all down here. Let's finally explain to whoever hasn't caught on yet about the anyone in the audience who hasn't caught on to what we're saying about the whole kid stuff thing. The main reason this documentary is big, the Abducted in Plain Sight documentary, is because there's a part in it where the dude who's been molesting the daughter, he rolls up to where the dad works and he says, "Hey, Hank," or whatever his name is. And he's like, "Come out with me, let's hang out. It sounds normal." And they're these 2 grown dudes, they go to the park, they're hanging out. And apparently, like, the molester dude has an erection, as molesters might have sometimes. He's aroused. And the dad, like, jerks him off. There's no way to say it kosher. He jerks the dude off because he requested it. And you've seen the whole thing. I feel like you have a better grip on it than I do. No pun intended, Nick. But Was that after he knew he had molested his daughter? Was that before he knew he had molested her? Because
I'm sure he had suspicions the whole. I mean,
right. Regardless, you
have to, bro. What 40-year-old man is going to be enthralled with some 12-year-old, 10-year-old, 13-year-old?
Right, like that again. Like that, right, exactly. I'm her best friend. It's so weird, right?
In the documentary, he made it seem like he had no clue, but it was common sense. Like
right.
I'm sure a 15-year-old would know. There's something weird going on here.
Right.
And in the documentary, he was talking about how they had suspicions about something weird. Before any of this happened, that something weird was going on and they were going to keep the daughter from this offender.
Really? The family said that about the guy who...
Yeah, but then they backtracked on it. It was like, oh, well, he's a family guy. He's a good guy.
Like, he's cool. Yeah, no.
He's our neighbor.
Yeah.
He brings some barbecue to the potluck.
That's interesting. I'm sure... I kind of do remember something like that from like the part that I saw about them. Like at first, maybe like, oh, it's but like again, like I remember, like I barely remember that part because for the most part, they were like, oh, then we kind of accepted it, blah blah blah. Just odd, man. I know like for the times and like they were a very sheltered family and she was sheltered. And again, I don't blame her at all. I don't care. I know she was 16 or whatever, did all this. I don't blame her at all. It's just it's interesting how. Again, just the parents made all these really bad mistakes. And I think the mom might have been like a nymphomaniac or something, dude. Because like holy shit, 8 months, dude. That's not an affair, dude. That's a fucking civil union. They must have had you know what I'm saying? They must have had like a goddamn condo somewhere together. 8 months. That's how long she cheated on her husband with this guy. After she got kidnapped the first time. So this dude's already kidnapped your daughter, on paper. Because the first time she got kidnapped, it wasn't like, oh, it was a misunderstanding. Cops got involved. They had to go get her, blah, blah, all this stuff.
It also took him like a week.
A week to call him. Oh, yeah, the first time. Oh, yeah. I'm just saying, like, he got in trouble for that. So it wasn't like it was, he kidnapped her,
and
quote,
they dropped
unquote.
the charges.
No, he kidnapped her on paper, guys. It wasn't quote, unquote. Yeah, because they dropped the charges. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. And to your point, how it took them a week, but why was that? You want to tell? Like, so again, I feel like you're the expert on this shit now. But why was that? Because I know why. It was.
Something weird had to been going on.
No, because the wife. Remember, it's the wife.
Yeah, I know that, but
okay, yeah, right.
I think with the whole family, something weird that wasn't explained or said in the documentary had to be going on because it's all just too convenient.
Yeah, these weird.
Like you didn't have any inklings of common sense that was going on.
Again, I gotta go back to this guy's wife. The fact that she was like, she's not like exactly submissive, but she was like a dummy too. It's like, listen, man, this guy is like, he's fucking kids and telling you to lie about it and letting dudes blow him. And again, she might be down with all that, but it's like, I don't care what you're down with. This nigga's gonna get you in trouble. So that's one thing they don't really talk about too much. But like, the wife played that family like a fucking fiddle. Don't tell on my husband for fucking your daughter because my husband blew. It's like, what the, like, well, the second you start having that conversation, you got to kick the person out. It's like, get the fuck out of my house. What are you talking about? And that bleeds into what you're saying. So we were talking about this earlier. Yeah, I feel like might have all been swingers.
Yeah,
tinfoil hat conspiracy. They might have all been swingers. You got to know something's going on, man. But again, man, you got to give it a watch. It's like that Michael Jackson documentary. You got to give it a watch. That's a good one too. And yeah, it's hee first of all. But yeah, hee motherfucker. No matter what you think about either one of these cases, man, you should definitely look at some of those podcasts. Do you want to give out your social media before we go, or you? Yeah,
the.midnight.sol, S-O-L. Hit me up on Instagram. Nick Nightingale, all one word on Snapchat. I'm not giving out my Facebook because that's, family and friends.
No personal. All right. Full disclaimer. Classic man, gentleman. I ain't giving that shit out. I respect it. Shit. All right, guys. Say, Steven, you want to shout out your stuff, or it's gonna be linked.
ReapGrimmer, yo. Peace out.
Good shit. All right, guys. Go ahead and smash that like button. Go ahead and smash that subscribe button. I'm sorry, it's actually...
Smash your mom!
Smash your mom if you want to, bruv. It's all good, bruv. Abducted in plain sight. We're all doing it. I'm sorry, no, there was no incest. There's a lot of pedophilia and very bad parenting and a lot of beta male behavior. Yeah, real quick, just before we go...
That might have been the cause.
Yeah, there we go. That's what we were both trying to say. It was beta male behavior. That's what happened. Because this weak motherfucker just had to fuck kids, couldn't control himself. This other weak motherfucker...
Don't be a cuck.
Don't be a cuck. This other weak motherfucker, got cucked. Yeah, don't be... Yeah, that's pretty much what happened. There's all weakness on all the men's parts.
The dude let him fuck him, his wife, and his kid. I don't know of any way you could be more of a cuck.
It was barbaric. Okay, let's just go ahead and sign out now, guys. You guys have a great one, and
bye.
God bless. God bless. God
Peace.
bless. God bless. Cool.
Smash.